Hello Year 4, I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. So, we're going to be continuing on with our humanities lessons on Mayans, Aztecs and Incas. I want you to get your pencils and your exercise books out and write down the date, Monday 4th of May 2020, and the LI to explore the religious beliefs of people in the Maya, Aztec and Inca empires. Well done everyone. Now let's do some recap. Can you tell your adults what daily life was like in the three empires? Well done everyone. Location and land. The Maya, Inca and Aztecs built great civilizations in Mexico and in Central, North and South America between 1800 and 500 years ago. The first of these was the Maya civilization. The Maya were located in Central America in a region that is today made up of southern Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, and northern El Salvador. What continent were the empires located in? North and South America. What continent do we live in? Pause and have a think. Europe. And what does civilization mean? It means the society, culture, and way of life of a particular area. Now, a bit of geography work. Over here to your left side is a modern map of Mexico, and over here towards your right side, these are the Native American civilizations. So the Maya, the Aztec, and the Inca are Native American civilizations. So these are the pre-Columbian empires, so before the European influence in America, so before America was technically discovered. So now, as you can see in this right map with the Aztec, the Maya and Inca, look at the color codings and have a think. Which empire was the largest? The largest empire was the Inca. Well done if you noticed that. Now over here there's some terminology, some terms that are used when you write dates in history. So have a look. BC, before Christ, but now we use BCE, so it's just the same thing. And AD, now we use CE, Common Era. So pause and have a look at this slide. Well done everyone. The three great civilizations, the Maya came first, then the Incan, and then the Aztec. Have a look at the dates. Now, as you know, empires could also exist simultaneously at the same time, as we previously learned with the Roman empires. What did the ancient Mayans believe? I want you to go on this BBC link. It's also uploaded on the school website, and watch the video once. And then I want you to watch it a second time and write notes. Well done everyone. The lives of the ancient Mayas centered around their religion and gods of nature. Religion touched many aspects of their daily life. Now, the Maya gods. I want you to read this out loudly to yourselves or to your adults. As you know, you need to be practicing daily reading, so this is a good opportunity for you to do so. And then you can play it and I'll also read it out to you. Well done. The Maya believed in a large number of nature gods. Some gods were considered more important and powerful than others. So their first god, Itzamna, the most important Maya god was Itzamna, who was the god of fire, who created the earth. He was ruler of heaven as well as day and night, and the Maya believed that he gave them the calendar and writing, and his name is thought to mean lizard house. Their second god, Kukulkan, who was a powerful snake god whose name means feathered serpent, and he is often drawn to look like a dragon. The Bonan Chakab, these names are a bit tricky, so don't worry if you don't get them correct. Also known by the name Huracan, similar to our word for hurricane, and who was a god of storms, wind and fire, and his name means one leg. And Chak the god of rain and lightning. He had a lightning axe that he used to strike the clouds and produce rains and storms. So this was their beliefs. They had four main gods. Pause and read this to yourselves. Divine kings. The kings of Maya served as intermediaries between the people and the gods. In some ways, the kings were thought to be gods themselves. Priests, who were responsible for performing rituals to keep the people in favor of the gods, and they were very powerful. So, some of their duties were to impersonate the gods, predict the future, work miracles, to avert famine, drought, plagues and earthquakes, and to ensure adequate rainfall. And the afterlife. They believed in a scary afterlife where most people had to travel through a dark underworld where mean gods would torment them. The only people who started out the afterlife in heaven were women who died in childbirth and people who had been sacrificed to the gods. Their calendar was a big part of their religion, which included, and some of their days were considered very lucky and some unlucky. And they set their religious ceremonies and festivals according to the position of the stars and the days of their calendars. The Maya built large pyramids as monuments to their gods. At the top of the pyramid was a flat area where a temple was built. The priests would get to the top of the pyramid using staircases built into the side. They would perform rituals and sacrifices at the temple on the top. Now over here you can see an example of a pyramid. The main way archaeologists know about the Maya religion is through Mayan texts which describe the religious ceremonies and beliefs of the Maya. These books are called codices. The primary surviving books are the Madrid Codex, the Paris Codex, and the Dresden Codex. Now I want you to summarize the Mayan beliefs to your adults. Well done, everyone. Moving on, Aztec gods. The Aztecs worshipped many gods. When they took over a new tribe or culture, they often adopted the new tribe's gods into the Aztec religion. The sun. One of the most important aspects of Aztec religion was the sun, and they called themselves the people of the sun. They felt that in order for the sun to rise each day, they had to perform rituals and sacrifices to give the sun strength. Now the Aztecs also had 5 main gods. The names are not so easy to pronounce, but you can read the first one. Just look at it. The most fearsome and powerful of the Aztec gods, who was the god of war, the sun, and sacrifice. His name is thought to mean left-handed hummingbird, and he was often drawn with feathers and holding a scepter made from a snake. The second god of rain and water, who helped the Aztecs much of the time by sending rain and causing plants to grow. He could also get angry and send thunder, storms and hail, and he was often drawn with fangs and big goggle-like eyes. Third god, the god of life and wind. His name means feathered serpent, and he was usually drawn as a serpent which could fly, very much like a dragon. This god was a powerful god associated with many things, including magic, the night, and the earth, and he was a rival god to Quetzalcoatl. According to Aztec mythology, he was the first god to create the sun and the earth, but was struck down by, I'm not going to say this, but you can read it, and turned into a jaguar. There was a large temple built to him in the city of Tenochtitlan, just south of the Great Temple, and his name meant smoking mirror. And the last god, Chicomicoatl, the Aztec goddess. So they have a goddess over here. So we've been learning about the gods, but we have a goddess of agriculture, nourishment, and corn. And she was often drawn as a young girl carrying flowers or a woman using the sun as a shield. Her name meant 7 snakes. Over here in this picture are the two gods, the rival gods fighting. Their priests. Their priests were responsible for making sure that the gods were offered the correct offerings and sacrifices. They had to perform all sorts of ceremonies in the temple to make sure the gods were not angry with the Aztecs. So the priests had to undergo extensive training, and they were well respected and powerful in Aztec society. Human sacrifice. The Aztecs believed that the sun needed the blood of human sacrifice in order to rise each day. They performed thousands of human sacrifices. Some historians think that more than 20,000 people were killed when the Great Temple was first dedicated in 1487. What do you think about this belief of human sacrifice? Talk to your adult. The afterlife. The Aztecs believed in a number of levels of heaven and the underworld. Depending on how you died would determine where you went. Those who died in battle would go to the top level of heaven. Those who drowned would go to the underworld. Now I want you to summarize the Aztec beliefs to your adult. Well done. Inca gods. The religion of the Inca was closely tied into the everyday life of the Inca as well as their government. They believed that their ruler, the Inca Sapa, was part God himself. So this is a picture of the Inca Sapa. The Inca believed that their gods occupied 3 different realms: the sky or Hananpacha, the inner earth or Ukipacha, the outer earth or Kaipacha. Inti was the most important of the gods. He was the god of the sun. Inti was married to the goddess of the moon, Mamaquilla. Pachamama was the goddess of earth or Mother Earth, and she was responsible for farming and the harvest. And in Inca mythology, Mama Pacha was a dragoness fertility goddess who presided over planting and harvesting. The earth was seen as a dragon goddess who lived beneath the mountains. Occasionally she quivered, sending earthquakes through the world. Viracocha was the first god who created the earth, the sky, the other gods, and humans. He was the father of Inti, the sun god. Supai was the god of death and the ruler of the Inca underworld, called the Ucapacha. The Inca temples. The Inca built many beautiful temples to their gods. The most important was the Coricancha, built in the heart of the city of Cusco to the sun god Inti. The walls and floors were covered with sheets of gold. There were also gold statues and a huge gold disc that represented Inti. Coricancha means golden temple. The Inca believed strongly in an afterlife. They took great care in preparing the bodies of the dead before burial. They brought gifts to the dead that they thought the dead could use in the afterlife. They felt so strongly in the afterlife that when an emperor died, the body was mummified and left in their palace. What other empires do you know of that mummified the bodies? You know that the Egyptians also mummified the bodies. They even kept some servants to watch over the dead emperor. For certain festivals, such as the Festival of the dead emperors were paraded through the streets. Inca Heavens. The Inca believed that the heavens were divided into 4 quarters. If a person lived a good life, they lived in the part of heaven with the sun, where there was plenty of food and drink. If they lived a bad life, they had to live in the underworld where it was cold and they only had rocks to eat. The Inca held religious festivals every month. Sometimes human sacrifice would be included as part of the ceremony. Well done everyone for your great concentration skills. Now I want you to summarize the Inca beliefs to your adults. Remember to be taking notes. For your task, what religious similarities and differences did the 3 empires have? As you know, as you've seen, this is a Venn diagram. So in our science lesson, we also use the Venn diagram. Over here we have Maya, Aztec, and the Inca. So now I want you to tell me what religious similarities and differences they had and place it correctly. So for example, over here, the Maya, I'll use red. So if there's a belief that just the Mayas believed, you put it over here. If there's a belief that only the Aztecs believed, that's different from everyone else, over here, where there's yellow. And if there's a belief that only the Incas believed, over here. So if there's a belief that is shared by the Inca and the Maya, you put it over here. I'll use green. If there's a belief that is shared by the Maya and the Aztecs only, it goes over here in this section. And if there's a belief that is shared by the Aztec and the Inca, I'll use black, it goes over here. And if there's a belief that is shared by all of them, let me use the color orange, it goes right here in the middle. So I have 3 examples. Believed in many gods and human sacrifice. Where would they go? As we know, they all believed in many gods, so it would go over here. It's shared by 3 of them. And human sacrifice is only shared between the Aztec and the Inca. So I want you to go through the slides again, go through your notes and put the similarities and differences in the correct sections. Now, if you don't feel too confident, you can do this exercise. It will also be uploaded on the school website. So you can choose one of the gods or goddesses. The name of my god is. What are they a god of? What do they carry and wear? So look at the pictures. What sacrifices have to be made to this god? Draw the god, and if there's any additional information, you can add that too. Also, you can also go on Purple Mash. There's activities on Mayan gods, Aztec gods, there's quizzes. Now, you don't need to do this all in one day, but this is just useful information for you that they are there on Purple Mash. So it would be great if you can complete them. And once you've done your work, send it over to year4@grange.harrow.sch.uk. Well done, everyone.